Good evening from the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield. We are steeling ourselves for the final act in a drama of semi-final action which will live in our memories for a very, very long time. This evening, the Masters champion, Judd Trump, continues his quest to win 2 of the sport's 3 majors in a single season. And he does so against a Geordie qualifier, Gary Wilson, a former cab driver whose own journey may yet be extended all the way to tomorrow's final.
A little bit of tension in this opening frame. He's going to take both frames without particularly playing well. They don't have to make them tough in the northeast. And here goes the record of Crucible centuries. That's 87 centuries. Ton up all over the Crucible.
It's 12-9.
Wow, what a pot that is.
This next frame is going to be huge in context of what's to come this evening.
Key shot coming up. Unbelievable fluke. All to play for this evening, but it's Judd Trump who goes to that final session with a 4-frame advantage.
So that morning session leaves Gary Wilson needing to win 7 of tonight's 9 frames, whilst Judd Trump is within 3 of a place in his second Crucible final, and his first since 2011, and a potential rematch with the man who pipped him to the title that year, the amazing John Higgins, because it's only about an hour since the distinguished Scot pulled off one of the greatest wins here at the Crucible. 3 times he recovered from a 5-frame deficit against 16th seed Dave Gilbert to force a decider and then clamber over the line. Both men exhausted, both men hugely emotional after one of the best matches we have ever witnessed here. Dave Gilbert oh so close to achieving a lifetime's ambition in reaching the final, but it's Higgins who, against the odds this season, has made it into his 8th Crucible final and his 3rd in a row. Truly remarkable from both men this afternoon.
Yeah, no, it was poor. It was poor the first 3 sessions, and I apologise to Dave at the end because I think, listen, mate, I think I brought you down to my level, and he'll be kicking himself, Dave. And I can see how emotional he got, and really, that's what this game does to you. And I was so lucky to be only 13-11 behind getting into the final session, because Dave would have been thinking he's missed a trick to get his first final. But he'll come back. He's a great champion, great player, great guy as well. But yeah, it'll make him stronger, I'm sure it will.
Well, what a cliffhanger this afternoon. I think it's fair to say we're all emotionally drained here, and it's all going to start again this evening. The Crucible keeps giving, doesn't it?
It does. These final sessions, it's almost beyond pressure. We all felt it today. It's so spine-tingling in here. We're going to get more of it for sure.
Well, Judd Trump comes into this last session. He's got a 4-frame buffer. He just needs 3 more to win to get into the final. But it's fair to say also he's not really been playing his brilliant best, has he?
No, his scoring's been a little sporadic in this match. He had a little 3-frame burst where he got a hold of it. But Gary's been on his coattails. He's just got to hang on and try and take this deep.
Maybe a bit of the worry for Gary Wilson. He's only made 2 50-plus breaks in the last 15 frames.
Yes. Yeah, I think he lost his cool once or twice in the last couple of sessions. He's got to try and get rid of that. I mean, he was so cool earlier on in the event. If he thinks back to those feelings and try and take that forward, that should help him.
And maybe just a little bit more fire in his belly somehow?
Yeah, I definitely think so. He's not a fiery type of player. You know, I think he tries to keep it underneath, but he'll get fired up tonight because this is going to go, the roof's going to come off of here when the boys come downstairs.
Well, let's hope so. Back to you, Hazel.
Thanks, guys. So just the one more question to be answered today. Which of these men will be in the final tomorrow with John Higgins? Let's find out with MC Rob Walker.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Never have we seen such emotion on semi-final Saturday before at the Crucible. A monumental effort from Gilbert, but it's time to find out who's joining John Higgins in this year's Betfred World Snooker Championship final. Only the Crucible could deliver drama this good. And here we go again at the Sports Spiritual Home. Please welcome a player who has embarked on an incredible run since the first round of qualifiers. After battling to get back on tour for 7 years, he richly deserves this opportunity to shine on the biggest stage of all. Is there one more twist in this fairy tale fortnight here in Sheffield for the pride of the North East, the Tyneside Terror, Gary Wilson? His opponent, the most exciting player of his generation. He has drawn on all 10 years of his Crucible experience to find himself 3 frames away from a second final. Winner of 3 big titles already this season. He is the reigning Masters champion, the ace in the pack. Here's Judd Trump.
So a possible 9 more frames to play this evening. Are we in for another classic? Can our nerves take another? You bet they can. It's good evening to Stephen Hendry and John Virgo.
Good evening, Hazel, and good evening, everybody. Tremendous reception for both players who
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Frame
will win
25.
out and play John Higgins in the final.
Yeah, has Gary Wilson got anything left to give in this amazing run in the World Championship he's had? One thing's for sure, he needs a good start.
Yeah, with a 4-frame deficit, you'd think he's got to win 3 of the first 4 frames. There's the average shot time. Highest break, 140. That's in this match, of course. Judd held the highest break for a while, 141, until John Higgins bettered that in his semi-final match. The pot success for both players is a little bit below what you'd expect. 87% for Judd and 86% for Gary. You know, you think in this level, it's got to be 90% or above. And long pot success, that's very low for Judd Trump. Type of player who depends on his long game a lot. And just below what's expected from Gary. So, a few questions to be answered, Stephen, and you just get a feeling if somebody did raise the game here, either player, anything could happen.
Yeah, I think that's why it was such a big frame for Judd Trump to win that last frame of the morning session. I think if it finished 13-11, he was going to be bang under it tonight as the favourite, as the player expected to win the semi-final. But that 4-frame advantage is just giving him a little bit of a comfort zone. But he's going to keep focused. He can't think he's in the final yet.
No attempt to the pot, but interesting that he play that single red and not play off the main bunch, which normally you would expect Judd to do. So he's putting a lot of importance in this first frame this evening. It's massive. Well, that's a poor safety shot. And you can see this red just goes. Gary having a long look at it, but it looks like it passes the other red to me. That was a long way away.
Yeah, early in the first frame, you're looking for a nice pot to give yourself, to set yourself down, to give yourself a bit of confidence. That was exactly the opposite. That would fill you with dread, missing the pot by that far. And will make Judd Trump feel a lot better, because, make no mistake, he is, maybe scared is too strong a word, but he doesn't want a fight back from Gary Wilson tonight. He wants to cruise to the winning line.
Yes, and it shows with some of his shot selection on the safety here. He's trying to keep it tight. Not normally Judd Trump's forte. Oh, it's there! There was a gap! There was just a gap, and he found it. Great shot.
Well, that pot was as good as the last one was bad. I mean, that was just a phenomenal bit of cueing. And going back to Judd, he's got to be careful. He's still got to play his normal game. You cannot come out here and be defensive and try and, just hope your opponent makes mistakes to get to the winning line. A couple of times this morning he refused long pots to play safe. And he's played that one nicely. I like an angle straight away on the black to go into the bunch here. It's a big target from the black if he gets level.
Nine.
Well, he's come nicely on it. Cannon for sure. And I always knew, playing it at that pace, he was going to have the red to the right middle. Just a
60.
controlled cannon.
Yeah, played that really well.
17.
Obviously, there's lots of pressure out there, and particularly
22.
for Gary, but what helps relieve the pressure if you can keep nice control of the cue ball. So that every shot you leave,
23.
you've got a nice angle, you don't have to do too much, you don't have to be forcing things in. Got a nice angle on the black here.
Well, it was mentioned at the top of the show that he's only made 250 breaks in the last dozen or so frames. What would make him feel very good is winning this frame in one visit, because his scoring has been his biggest asset in this World Championship. Before today, he'd made the most centuries
31.
of all 4 semi-finalists. John Higgins has equalled him now.
Disappointing position now on the blue. Has he got a slight angle? No. He wanted an angle to play the cannon. Now he thinks this top red is available.
36.
And in playing it, he'll be bringing other reds into play, so needs to get it. Well, he got it,
47.
but I don't know how he thought he was going to get on a colour playing it like that. I thought he had to play the screw.
Blue ball. Gary Wilson, 37.
Just couldn't get the right angle on the blue, that's why we see the shake of the head. This is poor. Overhit this by so far. Well, Gary, without having to do any work, you get another chance.
He definitely seems more comfortable dropping balls in rather than playing them with a bit of stun, a bit of power.
Yeah, he didn't hit that smooth at all.
The brown is not going to get it, but a very nice long pot, and looks to have a decent angle in the brown. Right in the middle of the pocket, that'll make him feel good. So right side of the brown, so not a lot to do with the cue ball here. Well, he did do quite a lot with the cue ball, to be fair. What a shot. That brown stayed potted, John.
It did. And he's finished absolutely perfect. Now, I don't think the black will go into the opposite corner, but he can screw back for the black in this pocket.
6.
And he's played it nicely. He'd love to get that red that's near the top cushion into the right corner. I think he'd have been straighter on the black. He could have played for it. Problem is, as I say, if what I suspect is correct,
13.
the black doesn't go to the right corner.
Yeah, you would have
You
thought.
see, it doesn't, so he's going to have to go up for a bought colour.
Yeah, sorry, John. I was going to say, I think you should have played some sort of cannon there and got rid of this red straight away. He's got to play a good positional shot here. Follow through of 2, maybe 3 cushions for the black to the same pocket. Doesn't want to be hampered by the pink.
14.
I think he's okay.
Yeah, played it well. Now surely he'll play for the red near the top cushion.
$21. 22.
If he stays on
20.
the black of these reds that are in the open,
30.
this black will make the points all square as we come in from the stalls, if you like, down to the action. He played that well. So points
37.
all square. He needs the 4 remaining reds with colours. No need to tell you
38.
what the problem ball will be.
Not quite as much a drama, the fact Judd's left-handed, but still,
45.
it'll be in the back of his mind. And well, now it looks like can he play for the black off this red? He's intimating a kick. He was playing it with a lot of right-hand side. He got up immediately.
Yeah, the left-hand side, or the right-hand side as it turns out, has squirmed the red to the left. Now this red is cuttable. It's very thin. Also possibility of a chance. If he cut it in, he could cannon the red that's near the left-hand side cushion. Or deciding to play safe, needs to get a good cue ball here. And he has. That's an excellent safety from Gary.
The red that's closest to the cue ball, he can play off the side of that, I think, get back to baulk, but he doesn't want to leave that red, obviously, that's near the right corner pocket. So for that reason, he may play the one next to the black. There's a good chance of getting cover from that other red. Slightly thick was better than thin in that instance. It's a good shot.
This looks good as well. And when you get a good length like that, you never make it easier for your opponent. Too thick. So Gary Wilson has forced a mistake. Can he knock this red in?
Now, as I said, he's looked more comfortable playing with topspin than stunning balls in. Interesting to see how he plays this. Yep, he topped it in, and right in the middle of the pocket. And has he got an angle to take that red away from the right-hand side cushion?
Yeah, he just thought it was a natural angle to cannon into the red. He didn't. The points, and once again, all square.
Gary Wilson, 8.
He was doing that this morning, Gary. He was just playing one or two shots that were almost weak, almost like he's running out of energy almost.
Well, he thought the only red he could leave was the one he was playing, and, well, it's run safe. He's okay.
Can Judd Trump put the red towards his black cushion and get the cue ball in behind the pink? Maybe not. That's what he's played. Yep, it's not bad. Maybe a little edge sticking out.
Well, I said it was a very big frame, this opening one. Could lay the marker of what's to come. And it certainly developed that way. And of course, whoever gets the opportunity will always have that tough yellow as well along the baulk cushion. Safe enough, but you just feel that Judd has got the initiative in this safety exchange, but the balls are awkward. Not quite the snooker. Not bad. Could have been worse.
If he's playing thin off the right-hand side of the red, take the cue ball back to baulk, he's got to be careful the red doesn't hit the cushion, then hit the pink half ball and go over this right corner pocket. It was on its way.
Yeah, I think if you'd hit it a little bit harder, that would have happened, but this red just to the right of the black is available. Right in the heart of the pocket.
One.
But not on a colour. So just a roll up behind the brown.
Judd Trump, 1.
Very well played. Touch of a surgeon. You always feel when you get to this stage of a frame, if you can get the snooker, gives you a big advantage. That was a great escape from Gary. And Judd missed the opportunity to snooker him again. No snooker, and left the pot on. Needs good cueing, but it's a chance, half chance.
Well, a lovely pot, but I don't think they'll be playing another pot. It was interesting because Judd played that safety. He did have a chance to pot the red to the right corner, turned it down, trying to keep things tight. I think it was definitely worth the risk. I mean, look where the yellow is. He could play a safety off the yellow here, Gary. Not send it down the table, try and get the snooker.
Pink ball.
The only problem with this is the yellow's going to stay on that cushion.
Okay, Wilson, 1.
Not bad. He blocked the path to the left-hand side of the table, and, well, is the green in the way?
Yeah, looks like it's a clever shot, that, isn't it? Pink stopping him, hitting the side cushion where he would normally, just past the middle pocket. Green in the way of the other one. Played the swerve, missed it, free ball for certain.
Foul and a miss. Gary Wilson, 4. Free ball.
But because he didn't play the safety off the yellow, he's still got that problem. Lovely angle in the pink. I think I'll be playing one cushion just before the left middle pocket, in between yellow and brown, trying to get as close to that yellow as possible. Touch your right hand side. Problem is, if you play two cushions, you can end up straight on the yellow and a bit further away from it.
Well, he keeps having a look as though he's thinking of having it replaced. Surely not. You're in control of the table. Easy pink. If you don't get on the yellow, you can always play safe.
Pink ball.
This counts as a yellow. 2 points.
Well, he's played the two cushions. It was a more difficult positional shot to get right, to get nicely on the yellow. But as John said, he's still got the initiative in this frame. He can play a good Safety shot here.
Thank you. Gary Wilson 2.
Fancy him hitting it. Can he get it safe? Can he get it safe? He'll need a good pot. 6 points the lead. Up to and including the blue. Easy safety.
Yeah, he doesn't have the cue power of his opponent. Can't just pot this yellow in the corner and screw off the cushion and back up for green. A lot more difficult shot for Gary to play, so I think he'll be refusing the pot here. He won't be entirely happy with that. Judd Trump can play cushion first here with side. Try and get the yellow full ball. Left hand side. Didn't quite get the full ball contact. He's left the pot on this time. It's the kind of shot he's been very good at. Top spin.
That's the cue ball. So close. And just a sag of the shoulders. If it had just missed the bump in the middle pocket, he'd have been perfect on the green.
Thank you. Gary Wilson 2.
Played a lot of billiards in his junior days, and that's why he's got a good knowledge of the angles. And now, does this kiss the blue and go over the corner? No, it's run safe. So Judd will settle for that.
Oh, needs this green to bounce. Yeah, he's okay. Flirting with that corner pocket, the green. You just get the feeling Gary's just potting one ball at a time. He's not killing this frame off. Is there going to be a twist?
And yet the strange thing is, if it comes to this tactical exchange, it's Gary who's been playing the better shots at the moment. Can he get in behind the blue? Always played it from behind. Always risky to me that he's left this green onto the middle, but the blue's tied up, so it might not be that costly if Judd was to knock the green in. You fancy him taking it on? Good pot it is, and look at this cue ball. Is it going to stop short of the baulk line? But every reason to play the brown, because if you pot it, you could play a snooker on the blue behind the black.
I think the blue is possible to get on to that yellow pocket, but oh, it's a tough shot, this brown. You can see there's a bit of room between blue and black.
And that's opened up the frame once again. That black being nudged away from the blue. Who wins this tactical exchange? That is top draw. That is really top draw. Advantage Gary Wilson. Cue ball needs to run, and it has done. Gary looking to see if there's a path to the brown. Don't think so.
Thank you, Judd.
Well, that's his view. Doesn't look like a gap. He's having to swerve it. If he hits it, he could pot the brown. Caught it too thick. Where's the cue ball going to run to? Is the blue coming to his rescue?
Shake of the head would suggest yes. Be careful, a double kiss.
A better shot. It's on a snooker. As you can see, could clearly hit the brown. Five points in front. Blue and brown all required, but surely too risky. Oh, he's left it to the middle. Needed to run it by the pink. Motion as though the cue ball ran off a little bit, but at that pace, over that distance, it could do. Just Trump needs brown, blue and pink.
Four.
Quick glance at the scoreboard. Blue and pink to take this all-important first frame.
9.
Gary Wilson had a few chances. I don't think he'll get another one.
How does he play this? Drop it in, or with a bit of pace?
Just dropped it in and made certain get the pocket every chance. Well, you could see the edginess of that first frame, but Judd Trump took it, and he's now 5 in front, 15-10.
Yeah, over the line in that frame, but did Judd miss a trick earlier in that frame? Ken Doherty, what do you reckon?
Well, possibly might have missed the trick. There was one very interesting shot. He potted a long red, Judd Trump. Let's have a look at it. And this is the situation. So he's got a red here, down at the bottom, and he rolls up to the brown. Pretty obvious shot. OK, puts Gary Wilson in trouble. However, the yellow is still safe. Now, this situation is on the other side of the table because the camera is over there. And the red is here. So what's he do? He rolls up to the brown. Now, Judd Trump was left-handed, so he could have easily taken the yellow out, put a bit more pressure on Gary Wilson, and then, even if he gets out of snooker, he still has a possibility of winning the frame from that position. Now, I can't play this shot because I'm right-handed. However, I do have a chair, and I can play it something like this. Even without the chair, I can't reach it. So roll up to the yellow like that, put him in a snooker, and put the pressure on your opponent. The obvious shot is not always the best shot.
I'm not sure that's allowed, fellas, are you?
Foul.
Exactly, yeah. But nevertheless, he is now moving swiftly towards a possible place in the final, Alan.
It's almost a little bonus to win that frame, you know, because it got away from him, as Kenny was saying, a couple of times, and that has put a huge gap in the match now. You know, 5 up, 5 in front, 2 away from winning. It looks a little ominous.
It's such a key frame for Gary to have lost when it looked at one point as if, are you all right?
Sorry, yes, I'm with you.
As if he was in control of that one.
Yeah, and it just seems like Gary's sort of just not run out of steam as much, just been halted in his tracks in a strange way, because it wasn't, as we said earlier, Alan and myself, it's not because Judd Trump's played brilliant all the time. But, you know, sometimes styles come into it, even though they shouldn't, and it just seems like Judd's got the upper hand.
Certainly looks that way. And he's inching towards the big one tomorrow.
Yes, he put a lot of store in that first frame of the session. I don't know what Ken's doing, jumping on the table there, do you?
I don't even know what that's about. Kissing the yellow leaves Judd a pot. We'll say the black's out of commission. That's what he would like to be doing, stunning for the black. So top spin, taking the cue ball back up the table. What a shot. What a shot. They fooled me, John.
Yeah. He fools us a lot of the times, doesn't he? Couldn't have worked out better. Perfect. And then he follows it with a poor shot as that.
8.
Wanted to avoid that red above the black at all costs. OK, you may say he's unlucky to find the gap, and maybe he is, but shouldn't have cannoned the red above the black. Tough shot to keep it going.
Oh, wonderful.
9.
The opening red for me was a statement of intent that he was pushing towards the line. The way he played for the black, that red was magnificent.
Yeah, it looked as though he wasn't going to take many risks in the first frame, but now he's won it. He's going to make a run for the line, as that shot shows you. What a pot that was!
Well, I've said on many occasions, he just plays shots that no one else in the game plays
50.
or even can play. The spin on the cue ball, you watch it after it hits the reds.
I'm still looking at that pink bobbling up and down as it dropped eventually.
$16.
It's like he's almost like he's sensed his opponent's got nothing left.
What's this pink again? It's funny, isn't it? But he does play some wonderful shots. Not been at his best in this match, it has to be said.
21.
Yeah, if it was a boxing match, it says got his opponent on the ropes and it's just a matter of knocking him over now.
$22.
Have to use his cue power again here. Straight yellow. That's to bottom, follow through to get the ultimate backspin. Oh, and he's missed the yellow.
Judd Trump, 22.
No rhyme or reason sometimes. The balls he's potted in that contribution and misses that. Now, Gary, got to commit to this. Oh, he just flicked the red. He's just about on the black, but it's a testy one. Got to commit to everything. It's there. Good shot, just got the near jaw. He'd have been a bit concerned.
8.
But the pace helped it go in.
Nine.
Now, a couple of ways of playing this. Just looking at that red above the black, just to the left. If you can cannon that full ball, delicate little cannon, hit it full ball beyond the red to the same pocket as he's potting the black. It's all about feel and touch. Played it perfectly. That's the one thing that has impressed me is cue ball control. Just having a look after this red and the black, what's available without playing a cannon. Well, if there isn't a red available, you've got the perfect angle to come off the top cushion into the reds. Well, he's played for the red to the middle. There's a gap to
24.
it. You've got to be so accurate with these, particularly if you're playing it with any kind of pace. Couldn't have hit it sweeter.
25.
Needs to run on, needs an angle on the blue. He's just got one. Just.
$30. 31.
Decent angle in the black. I don't know if there's anything planty about those four reds around the pink. Either to left middle or right corner. And it's maybe stopped him going into them
38.
from the black.
$39.
Now, if there is a plant, it must be to the left middle. He thinks it's on. He thinks it's on.
46.
He's played for it. And he's got it. Wonderful. And he's playing that plant. He's released a red into the opposite corner from this black. Just running round off two cushions. Couldn't play it much better than that.
54.
32 ahead, 59 remaining. These three reds in the middle of the table, and he'll be developing him as he pots this one.
55.
Well, he's nudged one. Just got through him a little bit further than he expected. That's the problem sometimes with playing the run-through. Pressure black. Well done, wonderful.
62.
40 points to lead, so red in the colours. Watch that black disappear. Red in the colour needed.
63.
Well, this is a tremendous contribution from Gary. It really is. We were wondering what he's got left. Well, Judd made the mistake, missing the easy yellow. And this is the reply. So 46 ahead now, 43 remaining. Don't take liberties. One snooker needed, that's all. But if he pots one more red, and he might true with this plant. But Maid certainly got the cue ball back to the balk
Gary
end.
Wilson, 68.
Goes back to his seats. That was an excellent 68 break from Gary Wilson. Shake of the head. He was unlucky the other red went to tie up the one, but that was a good contribution. He's still in there fighting. If he pots one more red, there's no way that Judd will carry on. But doesn't want to take liberties. As I say, only one snooker needed. So don't leave an easy pot on the red, because obviously Judd will pot the two reds with blacks if he gets a chance. But he won't get a chance now. Where's the cue ball going? Oh, it's okay. Well, this has been a tremendous frame for Gary Wilson, and if anybody thought
4.
that this was going to be a walk in the park for Judd Trump after winning that hard-fought first frame of this session, Judd knows there's still a match to be won here. This has been excellent stuff from Gary.
Yeah, totally agree. Great character. Okay, you could say sometimes when you go 5 frames behind, your arm loosens a little bit, you can relax, but a fabulous frame. Judd will be very annoyed at that yellow he missed. I bet he's thinking about that now.
10.
If only I'd potted that, it could be 16-10. But every
13.
credit to Gary Wilson.
Well, I think we've both agreed that he had to win 3 of the first 4 frames this evening. Okay, he lost the first one, but he's still got a chance to do that by winning the next 2 frames. Doesn't matter about the snooker.
22.
Well, that was a tremendous response. Okay, Judd Trump gave him an unexpected chance by missing the easy yellow, but you've got to make him, and he did. He's still 4 behind, but he's shown that he's still got a bit of life in him yet. 15-11, Judd Trump.
A bit of life that he's shown beautifully over the last 20 days or so. I think it's worth just underscoring, guys. For the last 20 days, this is his 7th match, and you were talking about a crust of invincibility forming about this guy earlier on in this championship. One of the stories of the whole year.
Yeah, it's been a superb performance from Gary up until now. He hasn't produced so much in this semi-final, and it's going to be still an uphill battle from here on in, because trying to outplay Judd Trump and trying to keep him under wraps is like sometimes holding a tiger by the tail. But if he gets encouragement from Judd Trump with some easy misses, or just, you know, not keeping his foot to the floor, you never know.
Absolutely. He's the world number 32 officially, although he's going to go zooming up the rankings after this, Alan. But the last big occasion that he made it to was a China Open final, 4 years ago, and he was beaten by Mark Selby 10-2. Yeah. He was pretty down in the dumps about that, but this is a much, much better stage and a much better account of himself, isn't it?
Yeah, I think back then, 3 years ago, wasn't it, he said he was a bit spent going into that final. Mark Selby was just too good for him, let's face it, at the time. If he can get to the interval here with this match still alive, I would be telling him, have a look around you out there. You're in the semis, at the Crucible, go and enjoy it, and try It's not easy, but try and enjoy it. And this is a time of your life, you know. I mean, look what happened with the match this afternoon. Special things happen sometimes out there. Dig in, but enjoy it.
Well, absolutely. And, you know, I think to all of us here in the studio and those of you who watched this morning's session, he looks a whole lot more at ease with himself in this evening session. What can he produce?
Yeah, I think Stephen hit the nail on the head. When you get to that point where you think maybe the match is gone, you just relax a little bit and got more freedom, and maybe his natural touch will come back. He's obviously played exceptionally well to get to this stage.
If he does get to the interval, what I would also say to Gary Wilson is look at your opponent, because he is desperate to get to the final of the World Championship, and he will be bang under it to get that winning frame. So if Gary can just get this match, say to that mid-session interval, that man on your screen there, believe me, he will be feeling it.
Good opening red. Can he score like he did in the last frame?
Okay, he's got loose reds, but you couldn't have picked the cue ball up in your hand and put it in a better place than the blue to go into the bunch there. Okay, I know there's a risk of maybe tying the black up. He's not played a good shot here. Looks like a natural though. That's the only good thing. Shot choice off the blue, I feel, was not aggressive enough.
Yeah, but once he decided not to go into the pack, he shouldn't have left himself so close to the cushion.
One.
Yeah, and with the scoreline as it is, he can't really afford any unforced errors. Gary Wilson, he's going to play as well as he can. Because even though Judd Trump is not at his best, you just can't be gifting him chances like this.
8.
No, and when you're playing catch-up, as Gary is, you're not going to do it in bits and pieces.
Nine.
I think we saw that with John Higgins today. When he saw the opportunity to win the match, he got very aggressive and went for his shots, and every opportunity he'd open the reds up. Judd not perfect here. Thinner on the blue than he would like. So he, you would think, would play the cannon on the pink. Cannon on the pink, missing the blue.
Judd Trump 9.
Well, from what we've seen so far, Stephen, expect the unexpected.
He's been fortunate, Judd Trump. Okay, he's left his cut to right middle, but this is not easy. That was a tough shot to take on, especially you weren't guaranteed where the cue ball was going, really. It seemed to be just a hint of desperation about that pot. Didn't seem to be any end game to it.
Yeah, and particularly after Should have missed that blue. Okay, he was lucky not to leave anything easier. He'll do well to get on a colour here. He's playing it hard, just hoping for the best. He's on nothing.
1. Trump 1.
Attempts the pot, much too thick, and then once he kissed the black, could have left something. This red above the black will cut to the left corner. Didn't play it, but he's played an excellent safety. Judd just standing to one side. Let
Thank you, Judd.
Olivia Martial, our referee.
Either way? Yeah.
Gary having a check as well.
Thanks.
Don't think he can get to the potting angle. Those two reds together, the left-hand one, I don't think Judd can get to that. That would be the one you maybe want to play. Oh, well, maybe he can. And if he can find a path back to the balk end. Good pot. And that helped the pass to the balk end.
1.
Well, this green will go to the left middle, but is he in the mood to play this? Shaking the head from Gary. He knows he was just a millimetre from not leaving that red. Very straight on this green. Obviously, it'd be an easy roll-up snooker. Good pot. Well, if you can get back past the pink, that's fine. If you can't, the top red just takes him back for a balk colour. Can't get on the black.
Five.
Well, it's another straight yellow into the yellow pocket. He's going to have to play with power. Be very surprised to see him miss 2 in a row. And we're He's just struck that so well. I mean, almost too well, you'd have to say.
7.
He's overhit that by about 2-3 feet for a choice of reds to right corner. But most players straight or just off straight, you'd say, oh, this is a problem, you can't get on the next red. Not to Judd.
Well, that's the problem though, isn't it? When you keep having to go up the table for a ball colour, the cue ball travelling the distance. It's never easy to judge. Anyway, it was a chance. And he's only made 7 from it. Just the safety to play. Well, I say the safety to play. He's looking long and hard. Is there a plant? Got to be made. Possibility, but it's very risky. Very risky. But fortune favours the brave in this instance.
I don't know whether Gary's shaking his head because he thought Judd was out of position, and then he thinks he's lucky because he's found a plant. But this had to be made. Wonderful shot, and you have to say, fabulous cue ball. If he missed it, he was leaving nothing.
Blue ball.
I'd be very disappointed if he doesn't make it 16-11 from
13.
this position. Probably play out for the red that's to the right, the pink to the right corner here. He could play topspin, I suppose. The red that's closest to the black, play for that red to the same pocket. But the percentage shot is to take the cue ball into the middle of the table. And that's what he's done. Yeah, nicely played.
21.
So there you see, another 27 points required at this visit.
22.
4 more reds. 3 now. He's potted that one. It's hard to see a problem, but take nothing for granted. He won't.
29.
This is an example how dangerous opponent Judd Trump is. You don't get the safety shot right. He knocks this red in, and now he looks like winning the frame from it. When his long game is on and he's scoring, he can be virtually unplayable. He's not been at that unplayable best.
35.
2 or 3 sessions in this World Championship. Last session against Ding, first session against Maguire. He had a little 4-frame burst yesterday. But you just feel if he can get to that final, maybe that's when the real Judd Trump will appear.
Wrong side of the blue. But with the brown not being on its spot, easier to get in and out of balk. We know the top red of these 3 goes.
41.
Whoa. Has he found the gap for the one in the middle of the 3? I don't think the right-hand one goes because he could have played it before. This is a bonus. That was a bonus.
42.
Just the black needed.
Yeah, it wasn't the best cue ball in the world from that red. And that's frame ball. Looks like he's going to be one away from a place in the final.
49.
He'd love to get it done before the interval.
50.
Been up and down the table here. Yellow, green, blues.
56.
And this will be his first pink as he tries to dislodge the red from away from the cushion.
$62.
And if anything ever shows you the margins between winning and losing, this frame was an example. Look, for all the world that Gary Wilson had played a superb
70.
safety, and there was just a gap.
72.
And Judd knocked it in, and then when he went in, he looked as though he was the reds. He looked like he was on nothing, or deep screw back to this end. Found a plant to the middle, and now time for some naughty snooker.
75.
I mean, I love watching these shots, John. He plays shots that no one else can play, but
79.
on these days, if he miscues, I just worry.
Yeah, well, I would. Yeah. You know, there's tips. If he does win the next frame, he's got a 2-day final to play. But he can't
84.
help it. And it's good. Switching to his right hand. And a terrific pot with his right hand.
90.
And now underarm. Aye, aye. Aye, aye. Bit of showboating from the Judd. Rubbing salt in the wounds. But that's how good he must be feeling now, because he's one frame away from a place in the final. He leads Gary Wilson by 16 frames to 11.
He's almost there, and the shackles are off, and he looks like he's really enjoying himself out there, Al.
Yeah, he is. I mean, that's what he can do. And, you know, he potted a plant. He was a little fortunate. He played the deep yellow. He's got the plant. It's just set on perhaps the top jaw, and he feels he can get through the little gap for blue or black. And when he landed on the next red off, the blue was a tricky little shot, but when he landed properly, there you see Gary knew it was coming.
Yeah, exactly. But as you were talking about it, the courage to actually take that shot on, to just go with it, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, that's why he's one of the most entertaining players I think we've ever seen in the game. And, yeah, the shots he can produce always make him a danger. I mean, from my perspective, when I used to play, like, you know, a lot of the players I felt, I sort of had the better of them back in my time. There was one player at that time that I always didn't really know what to expect.
Only just, though.
Well, yeah. Jimmy White, you never knew what shots he could pull out because he had that extra special cue power. Maybe Alex Higgins as well, but Jimmy White was the one. But when you know a bloke can dig himself out of trouble with a big power shot, and he's got more in the tank after that even, you're never too sure. You're sitting in your chair thinking, I might be okay, but he can play the big screw back or whatever. Judd Trump has got a massive range of shots.
It's interesting if Judd comes through and plays John. See, John knows this, so he'll be saying, nothing's a surprise. He'll throw in a few wobblies, he'll throw in a few worldies, and John will be able to handle it, you know. But he's still got to win.
He's got to get over the line, and will it be before their interval, or are we going to get more this evening? This is the last before a scheduled interval, or it could indeed be the last.
Last chance saloon now for Gary Wilson. He's had a great tournament. He doesn't want it to end here. Let's see if he can produce some of his best form here now. Well, that kiss on the red has knocked it safe. Long way away though with the pot. Worrying signs. Very attacking safety there from Judd, purposely running the red into the bunch to open them up. Puts a lot of pressure now on the shot for Gary to get it safe. It's a big ask.
I'm going to look at the two reds around the pink spot. I don't think they're a plant to left middle. So having a close look, he's interested in it. Gary Wilson didn't look before he played the shot. Not far away. So yeah, careless from Gary Wilson. Didn't come down and have a look at those. As he played his last shot in this World Championship.
Yeah, and just played it with confidence to stop short of the baulk line, to be nicely on a baulk colour. I mean, maybe not off this shot, but the one red you'd love to be on is the one that's just above the black. I think it may go to the left corner.
Yeah, either that one or the one to the right, the black, to the left corner. Either one to the left corner. I think that's the red he's played for, knowing that he'll have another pot on.
Fine.
Yeah, I didn't realise those two reds were available. The top one's available, so no reason to play a risky positional shot.
Normally pretty reliable at closing the match out, Judd Trump, when he gets to the stage of needing one frame. As you would expect, one of the best players in the world. You wouldn't expect him to shy away from the winning line. He needs his cue ball to stop. He's okay.
11. $12.
Now he found the angle, and Stephen said, if you can't play for the one above the black, the one just to the right
17.
of it is ideal. Just seeing if you can pot the black. In potting this, I think if you screw on and off the side cushion, you'll be able to get to it.
18.
Could have played it better.
Yeah, just has to be careful he doesn't nudge that red too far. Oh, he played that well.
Good control.
25.
Yeah, that was a real snooker player would appreciate a shot like that. A lot better shot than it looked. He's still not finished nice enough on that red to stay on the black, and he didn't expect the little cannon on that second red there. He thought he was going to miss this red here. He just brushes it. He's actually lucky he didn't go into the pink from there. But as we say, it's got effortless cue power.
And that has landed
28.
as good as he could hope. Choice of reds. This one, play for the black in the same pocket. We know the red above the black is available. Another 39 points from this position. So 5, maybe 6 red still needed.
36.
Just didn't play the last
47.
black as well as you would have wanted. Don't expect him to miss that this black at all, but he's a little bit higher than he would like to be. He'll be feeling excited now. He just got to keep his composure, not think too far ahead. Last thing he wants is to miss an easy shot and Gary Wilson come in and clear up and have to go to an interval.
Yeah, he's done really well as Gary, and I'm sure he'll learn from this experience. He won't be thinking about that now. Like all players, when they're on the verge of defeat, they'll think, why couldn't I play better? Why has my form deserted me? But when you're under pressure, there's certain ways you have to cope, certain routines, certain shots that, as Stephen said earlier, he looked a lot better when he was just stroking them smoothly rather than playing them with power. Screwing back for the blue and finished absolutely inch perfect. Can't see any obstacles now between Judd Trump and a place in the Betfred World Snooker Championship final.
Yeah, has to be said, he's been far from his best
50.
throughout this semi-final. Long potting especially, I would point out, as there's been a weakness.
51.
But what he does do, he can win bunches of frames so quickly. And I think he will relish the chance to play John Higgins in the final tomorrow.
58.
Yeah, the man who ruined his dreams in 2011. That was the last time
59.
Judd made the final. And looked as though he had John Higgins at one stage. I'll never forget a blue he played when he thought about it for 3 or 4 minutes down the side cushion, decided to play
66.
it, missed it, and that cost him the match.
57.
And the applause tells you that that is snooker's required. No way back now to the table for Gary Wilson, but he should be proud of his performance, and I'm certain everybody
75.
in the Northeast is. You've got a player who can compete at the highest level.
Yeah, now he's had a taste of this, John. He'll want to come back next year, won't he?
Absolutely.
82. $83.
Well, if he's going to finish with a century,
Thank you.
he's going to need a good shot here. Something like that. Something like that. Cue ball could have finished better.
88.
Not quite, but that will be good enough. Gary Wilson shakes his hand and says, I'm sure, best of luck tomorrow. He did all he could. Neither player really reached the height of their ability, but that's what can happen in a semi-final. It gets harder with the way the tournament goes on, and Judd was desperate to get to the final. Gary Wilson leaves the arena, but the Judd Trump will be coming back tomorrow to try and rectify that defeat against John Higgins in 2011. He runs out what looks like a comfortable winner Maybe it wasn't, but he's in the final. 17-11.
He's in the final, and that's all that matters to Judd Trump. He's had an 8-year wait. There's his manager, Django Fung, and he's on his way to the dressing room. Congratulations to Judd Trump. And our commiserations to a very, very gallant runner-up here, Gary Wilson, who really has made a name for himself. There's Judd's brother, Jack, who's been with him the whole season and has been a real tower of strength. You remember the Masters triumph, of course, when he beat Ronnie O'Sullivan to win his first major title of this season. And now he's going for 2 out of 3. Now, who's to say he's not going to pick up the pace here, but how is he going to reflect on the performance that's got him over the line here, Alan?
I think later on tonight and tomorrow morning he'll say, right, back to business. There's some things that you've got to improve on. We're seeing John amazingly slip into gear now that he's really tired. So he'll think it, but now it's just think about, I'm there. I've got the job done. I'm, 4/5 of the way there. He's got one more to play, but he's playing the toughest guy that anyone's ever seen in the Crucible. But as I say, enjoy this moment. He wasn't at his best. We said before the session, myself and Steve, it was sporadic as scoring. It wasn't. He won a couple of bunches of frames, 2s and 3s and 4s. But he's going to have to do that more against John. OK, well, here he comes. Mr. Judd Trump back in the final. Congratulations, Judd. You're over the line. And just tell us how that feels after an 8-year wait. You've done it, you've made a long journey, and you're there again.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable feeling to get back there after so long. I think, obviously, when I got to the final the first time, you think it's going to sort of happen every single year. So I think at my age now, I've matured enough to sort of appreciate how much effort goes into it now.
I just wonder about the whole favouritism thing, because you were out there, you're playing a qualifier. In many respects, you were expected to win out there, but how much extra pressure did that heap upon you throughout the match, Judd?
None, really. I didn't go in expecting to win. I think I played Gary already once this season and he beat me, so I think that helped me a lot, actually. I think otherwise, obviously, I could have been a bit overconfident, but I think we both struggled a bit with the conditions compared to the first couple of rounds, and I was just trying to take one ball at a time towards the end.
It's funny, I remember John winning here 21 years ago for the first time, and he quietly assumed, although he didn't say it at the time, I think he thought it was just going to happen again, get to the final, It didn't happen for John for a while. So, you're kind of similar, but you've seen what John's done for 20 years, so you've still got bags of time, haven't you, to win this thing? Although you won it this year, obviously.
Yeah, obviously I'm still young in snooker terms nowadays, but obviously the sooner you can get it out of the way, the better. But obviously it's going to be a monumental effort to beat John over this kind of distance.
I tell you what, when you look back to that final in 2011, it was a close run thing and you will have learned a heck of a lot. But since then, you've become a double major winner. You have won title after title. You're a different guy, a different player. In which respects, Judd, would you say that you have matured best in your game?
I think probably patience. I think when things don't go my way like they did in the semi-final, it was kind of a bit scrappy throughout, and I was just able to sort of stay patient and just dig in, get my 4-4, get my 5-3 win, and just build up a little lead that way rather than sort of go all-out attack and make it happen that way. One
of the biggest weapons that Judd's got, right, is when a scrappy frame, then another scrappy frame, scrappy mini session, then you get a chance and it's bang, and then you can step it up, can't you, quickly?
Yeah, I think
You've done that a few times.
Only recently, I think I've learnt to do that. I think before, obviously,
not easy.
I found it hard. Yeah, it's just about over this kind of distance, rattling off 3 or 4 frames, and it kind of turned the match just like that. So I think I've done that in my last 2 or 3 games, and I've kind of just got away from them.
Fun enough, we were talking about that actually. 6 against Ding, 6 against Stephen Maguire, obviously 4 against Gary there. But you've been in 3 big finals and you've won all 3 this season. Can you compare your levels for the last couple of weeks with the levels that brought you those 3 titles this season, Joe?
I'm not quite there. I think in spells, I think against the end, against Ding and the start against Maguire, I was probably playing at that kind of level, and I think that's probably the kind of level I'm going to have to continuously play against John to get close.
But I think here as well, you can lower your expectations because you've got to win about 100 frames or so. So you can't play that well for 100 frames. So you're going to have periods. It's just accepting them.
Yeah, you have to learn to accept them. And I think as you get older, that does become easier. I think I haven't, or John, I don't think either of us have been the best two players this week. I think, but we've just managed to dig in when we need to and just get over the line. And I think we're both very experienced, him especially, just to stay patient and just enjoy it when you can.
I'll tell you what, I do remember back at the Masters, you being desperate to get across the line in the semi-final, to get in there and show us what you were made of in that final. Was there an element of that in this one? Because you had some pretty bruising encounters against Stuart Bingham in that last frame decider a few years back in 2015, and of course Ronnie before that. They're tough matches, these semis, aren't they?
Yeah, they take it out of you. I think, especially the one against Stuart, I kind of went in thinking if I could get through that one, I'll have a good chance of winning it. So I think I learnt from that and took it in today. The first session was very tough. I think we were both missing a few, and I just managed to stay in there, get a little lead, and just kind of controlled it from there. OK, it's a long haul, a two-day final, but what are you looking forward to most about this opportunity, John? Hopefully revenge. I think we're both very tired. I think it's mentally draining. I think I watched John earlier, and obviously he was a bit emotional getting back to the final, and I think, yeah, to be back again against him 8 years on from where we were before is going to be an epic final.
I've got one quick question. How cool is it coming down those stairs?
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? I think...
Well, I don't know. I'd love to know.
It is amazing. It's such a good atmosphere when you're walking down. I think just as the rounds build up, I think even the semi-final's good atmosphere, but when you get to that sort of final session of the final, it's just breathtaking, really.
Well, it has been, and it's been great to see you there again. We'll look forward to another 4 times down those stairs over the coming days. But, Judd, thanks very much. Now, we're just going to quickly pay tribute to the man that you beat today, Gary Wilson, who has in many respects been one of the great stories of this championship. We doff our cap to him, and he's with Rob Walker.
Gary, disappointment tonight, but overall you have had a superb run to a maiden semi-final at the Crucible.
Yeah, I've got to remember that, but to be honest, that was disappointing. The table was disgusting. First and foremost, Judd deserved to win. I wasn't good enough today at all. I wasn't good enough yesterday. But I've got to say, that table is disgusting. He said it himself as well. It's running off all over the place. You're getting square bounces, kicks every other shot. And it's not an excuse. It's just simply saying that I struggled myself, but that made it even worse when you were getting in. You find it difficult. I found it difficult to score. I found it difficult to even play the right shot half the time. But yeah, that's out the way anyway. I just wanted to say that. But Judd deserved to win. He played better. Simple as that.
So did the table feel different to earlier rounds?
No, well, yeah, to earlier rounds, yeah. Earlier rounds, they were spot on. Absolutely spot on, the earlier rounds. I can't understand how you can make such a bad job of it when you get it down to one table. I think a few of the players have said, like I say, Judd's already said the same thing there, and John said he was getting bounces left, right and centre, and you know, it's just a shame. I just feel like the game was spoilt a little bit, you know, and like I say, I didn't play well enough. It's not an excuse, it's my own fault, but it didn't help.
Did you feel as though it was just beginning to slip away? Because at 9-7, you know, you were definitely still in it, but he just seemed to start pulling away, and you couldn't get a foot back in the match.
Yeah, I just couldn't play well enough. Simple as that. I just couldn't play well enough. I didn't deserve to win a session. So obviously that's what you want to do. You want to try and at least win a session, to try and get back at least level again or something and stay in the game. But no, I just wasn't good enough.
It's been a long road from the first round of qualifiers to the World Championship semi-final, and you know you've beaten Bracel, Selby, Carter. You've had a huge run before the championship began. Before that first round of qualifiers, I think you'd have probably taken semi-final, single table setup, and 100,000.
Oh, definitely. Listen, I'm over the moon in one respect. I'm over the moon that we've got so far. But you know, I still believe deep down, you know, I want to try and win, you know. And like I say, I just feel it's a bit of a shame the way I've sort of played the last couple of days. And I mean, it's not a surprise as well, because that's the way I generally play as well, and it's just frustrating in general.
But that's probably a career-defining performance. Although you've been to the final of the China Open before, that's a massive stage out there, and you now know that you're comfortable here at the Crucible, because you haven't been intimidated by opponents or the context. OK, you haven't played as well as you would have liked in this semi-final, but you haven't been intimidated here.
No, I'm comfortable. Yeah, that's a positive. But you've got to be comfortable in your own game as well. Otherwise, what's the point? And I just wasn't comfortable in my own queuing, my own game. there's positives, of course there is, but I'm obviously just coming off. I'm disappointed, you know.
Well, you'll be feeling more positive towards the start of next season. £100,000 in the bank. You're up into the world's top 20. When you've got over this initial disappointment, it's a great platform for next season, isn't it?
We'll see. I've been around long enough now to know you never know what's around the corner, so we'll see. I mean, I'm still the same player. I don't feel like I'm a different player. That's the thing. I feel like I'm the same player who's had another good run here and there. I hope that's not the case, obviously. I hope it is a springboard to do bigger and better things, but I feel like the same player.
Well, I think you've won more than a few new fans over the course of this fortnight. A good run overall. Hard luck today. See you next season.
Cheers, Rob.
Thanks, mate.
Absolutely. We've got to remember that 2 years ago, he was at number 57 in the world and he's vaulted into the top 20. And he's got it off his chest. He was clearly unhappy about table conditions out there. What do you make of his comments about that, Steve?
I love that interview. When you lose, that's how you should feel. Like, there's no point in saying I've had a great week.
Yeah, yeah.
What does that mean? Yeah. You've just lost, and he's absolutely gutted he's lost. And if the table didn't play right, and it did, look, the cushions look like they're lightning fast. Some strange bounces. Why not get it off your chest? You're not going to get a better time. Rob's trying to give it, you know, as you would rightly so, you know, to take the positives out of it. That's not the time for it. You know, that's exactly how I'd feel afterwards. I don't want to talk to anybody afterwards. But if the table's playing awkward, then it's who deals with it the best. But you know, he's saying really it should play like they did in the early rounds, and it's hard to know why.
OK, well, he got it off his chest, as I say, and we'll see him again, I'm sure. But very briefly, Alan, what a final we're in for tomorrow. What do you think we're going to get?
Difficult to predict. I think we're going to get both of them trying to outsmart one another. I think the scoring will be marginally higher than what it's been in the semis. It's going to be awesome.
I think it is. And your view, quickly?
Yeah, I haven't got a clue. No clue whatsoever.
We should never bother. All right. But I think we are in for one of these finals for the ages. We've got a 29-year-old Judd Trump against a 43-year-old John Higgins. And I think the numbers may add up to a Crucible Classic. We've had one today. We've had a safe passage for Judd Trump, and our final is live from 2 o'clock tomorrow. That's part 1 of 4. See you then. Bye.
I don't believe I'm holding this. Like, and we have all the winners, right? I think it's imbued with all the feelings that the people who lifted it have felt at the time. So it's an extraordinary thing. You're not joking. This is the actual trophy, right?